Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, I'm Brother Brian right here on KIEZ 106.7 FM, the voice of the community. Hey, had to reach back out this weekend. I'm sorry, today, because this upcoming weekend is a great weekend filled with history, filled with, I'll say, sometimes some sorrow, understanding the history of this upcoming weekend. But before we get started, I want to definitely welcome Marie Brown to the radio airways. More so, you know her. She's been working in the community for a period of time. And that's one reason why we call this show the voice of the community. We want to reach out and talk to people that are actually getting active and getting involved. Marie, thanks for joining me today. How are you today?
I'm just fine, Brian. Thank you for having me this evening.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Marie, back when I used to be Marie's board op, just in case anyone didn't know, she was on the radio each and every Saturday, giving out great information, great inspiration to the community. But I forget, Marie, what was the name of your talk show back then?
It was straight talk, and that's what we did. We told you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not.
I love it. I love it. I remember one thing you told me back then when I was your board up. You was like, the reason that our community is in a condition it's in and it's out of order because we as men have not taken control. And that has stuck with me over the years. And I didn't understand it then, Marie, but today in its proper order, I understand it. And I agree, you're all right. So we have to take our proper place so the rest of the community can actually fall in its proper order.
Exactly, because you guys are our protectors. So what that means, the protector needs to be out front. You know, so often we think opening a door for a lady and going and letting her enter first is the proper thing to do. But what if there's a problem inside? You need to enter first, check things out, and allow her to enter. You know, that is the order of things. We just got so backwards, that we need to think about the things that we do. A lot of these things cause us to, be out of order also.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of people confuse your passion, your love for the community as being chaotic. But I mean, I sat there with you for over a year every Saturday and I heard your message and I saw where you were moving around to other radio stations attempting to get the word out. You worked so hard, so hard. I don't know if you can hear me, but your camera just went out. Well, Marie, I appreciate it. We had a couple of small technical difficulties, but hey, that comes with the territory because with technology, that means that our communities are steadily evolving. And that's what I've always seen you do. No matter what was going on in the community, you always adapted, overcame it, and continue to evolve because people get it confused. Your passion in the community, you're willing to actually ensure that the people's voices are heard. So it may be a person like me that I'm afraid or I may not have enough knowledge to speak up, but I know I have a voice out there. And I thank you for your service. I don't know if you ever received that. I know sometimes people can be a little bit mean and get distracted, but you are a pioneer. So I thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
We have to make a decision to be a voice for the voiceless and a face for the faceless, because a lot of people are not going to show up and a lot of people are not going to speak up. And it's reasons. You may have a job, you may have children. I've always made sure that I had a job that I couldn't be fired from through the process of being able to speak up. So all those things, so we can't blame people when they can't speak up, but we still got to be about the business of speaking up for the community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Maria, like I said, I appreciate you joining me. But we want to talk about what's coming up this weekend. It's called Juneteenth. I'm kind of embarrassed, but I have to be honest. I'm originally out of Chicago, born and raised, attended grade school, high school, joined the military, then moved down south when I was in my mid-20s. So prior to me moving to Louisiana, I never heard of Juneteenth. The first dilemma was that, I mean, what do they mean when they say Juneteenth? Are they trying to say June 18th, June 19th? Until I lived there, then individuals in the community educated me on my history. And so tell me or share with me a little bit of history about Juneteenth.
Well, Juneteenth, the Emancipation Proclamation was written in 1863. Now imagine you're free and nobody told you. 2 years later, they had to get an order, which General Granger brought an order to Texas to let the slaves go. But they knew that we were free. They just didn't want those crops to stay in the field and spoil or whatever they were growing. But people don't realize that Florida, Louisiana, all those border states sent their slaves to Texas. And why? Because Texas always had a militia. There was no army that remained in Texas after General Grant surrendered. So now you got basically martial law going on. There's really no place for the slaves to go. So all those that left, but imagine everybody that had to stay, because where were you gonna go? Where were you gonna go? 157 years is not that long. I'm talking in my generation, that's only 4 grandmothers. I'm the last generation that witnessed the colored sign drinking fountain, where that sign said colored people drinking water. We're the last generation. So when everybody that's right now in their 60s leave here, you guys are the new old people. So what are you doing to hold your spot? I told somebody this today, actually it was a white guy, he wanted to talk about Juneteenth. I say, until you're ready to listen and understand why I have feelings about this, you don't want to acknowledge my feelings, but you'll acknowledge the Holocaust. But you want me to forget. You want me to not remember anything because you want to say it had nothing to do with you. But guess what? If you want to do something, somebody say, well, boy, who's your daddy? Who's your mama? Guess what? Then that person is responsible for who you are. So then you have to make amends for what has happened. So until you're ready to acknowledge that we didn't get the mule and the land, and if you look at it, we were doomed to fail anyway, because the rule was that you couldn't produce the land, do anything with the land in the mule, you were going to lose the land. But guess what? They put a law in that horse stealing is against the law. So now, mules don't reproduce mules. So you was already set up to fail. So these are the things that you have put in place that create systematic racism, and you don't understand it because we are not starting off on a level playing ground. Until you admit what you did or your ancestors, because think about it. You have a lot of people saying, I've been on this land 100 years. This land been in our family for 200 years. Okay, if you've been in there that long, then that means your ancestors were slave owners. But you don't want to talk about that. So these are the things that we have to have the conversation with, to say, enough is enough. Give me my fair share, because we built America. Now you act like we don't know how to come in out of rain. That we need you to tell us every little thing. You let the property go down because you want to redline us, because you don't want to live next to us. I don't know one slave plantation didn't have their slave living in the backyard. So now all of a sudden, your property ain't worth nothing if we live next to you. So why are all these plantations still worth something? I'm confused.
Great point. That is powerful. That's great. I never even thought of that, but you're right. You're right. And that's what made their wealth. That's what made them wealthy, based on not the acreage, but the number of slaves.
The number of slaves. All your banks started off selling slaves. All of your banks, JP Morgan, all those banks, you were the property. You know, and if you look at it, it was set up on the same thing as the housing that went on that crashed. They gave everybody these house loans. Everybody these house loans. They kept selling them, moving them. That's the same way they did slavery. So when everybody ended up with slaves, now who owns it? The bank owns you. So you could lose your property. So America is looking at, oh, well, the people in the North got tired of slavery. No, they didn't. They got tired of you selling them free stuff at a high price. So wait a minute. Why we got to keep paying and they got them slaves down there and they're working the land for free and y'all selling us this to these factories. That's why you had the booming of the factories come along. So guess what? Here's the problem. Now, we say we were freed by the people in the North, right? Well, if the people in the North overthrow the people in the South, why so much racism in the South if you people from the North came down here and freed us? That's the problem. So now, this is why you done came back and killed your own brother, your own sister, your own daddy, and took the land back from them. Now, so these not the same people that had us in slavery. There's some people from the North. And we're not even realizing it. Okay, all they want is money. They were all about money too. So where you think everywhere in the world, no matter where you go in the South, there's North. They take the North, so therefore they're from the North. They recreate the North from the North. That's why they always want the North of any Southern country. I don't care where you go. If somebody say North, you know who live there.
Okay, I mean, you dropped a lot of information on us from the colonizers' responsibility of the condition of the United States. You spoke about the labor force that was actually stolen and you indirectly spoke about that, how labor force was brought to America, worked the land, and then they were given a promise at one time, according to you saying the 40 acres and a mule, however, they were given inferior products to work the land. And so many barriers to re-entry into a so-called, as they say, a free society. But then they came up with the Freedmen's Bureau, the bank system, the land, so many obstacles. So, and that's why, for some reason, I was in the North. I was never, as far as I recall, I was never taught about this thing called Juneteenth, the actual 1865. And you talked about that as well when Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, 1863. However, the actual news, because they didn't have internet back then, didn't get to Texas until 2 years later. And the people that were in the other southeastern states, because the Union that were during the Civil War, they moved their slaves over to Texas to attempt to protect their assets. And you also spoke about capital gains / capitalism. A lot of things happen based on capitalism. Now, if I may, tell us a little bit about this unity parade that's going to take place where you attempt to show recognition of 1865, where people were free back in, as they say, Juneteenth of 1865. And there are going to be some classes, my understanding, speakers. What can I expect when I come out there this Saturday?
Well, I first want to tell you about what's happening this Friday.
Whoa, catch me up, please do. Go ahead.
This Friday, as every year, I try to do something that maybe we can say, hey, let's take a look at what we seriously need to be focusing on. So this Friday at 6 o'clock, we're going to be at Flowery Mount Baptist Church, which is Sam Moore's church, and we're having a salute to fathers. We're having an essay contest. We are having prizes, first, second, and third prize. We have some children turn in some essays. So we're going to salute fathers this year. So I'm always on that kick. I need y'all to step up and take your rightful place. So that's why we're going to salute fathers this year.
And where is that again?
It's going to be at 1600 Wood Street at Flowery Mount Baptist Church. Pastor Sam Moore is going to be the host of it. So we're going to do that. And also Sarah Louise McCoy, the first Black female that went to ULM, at that time Northeast. She will be here and come and telling her story of all the things that she went through just to go to ULM. It's going to be an exciting time, and I'm looking forward to just seeing her in person. Actually, I grew up in her community, so I knew her as a child going through that process. So that's going to be our Friday night event. Then Saturday, we're going to line up at Wasson High School. We have a host of people that's in the parade. We have Carroll Drumline. We have Wasman Drumline also. We have a lot of little marching groups of young people. So there'll be horses and all that, and floats. And also we're having a contest, best float. It's a $200 prize. So we're looking forward to that. And after the parade, we're going to end up in the pavilion right behind the zoo. And it's going to be free food. I mean, I'm talking food. I'm talking fried catfish. I'm talking shrimp. I'm talking hamburgers, hot dogs. We're going to have jumpers. We've been working hard for this Juneteenth, and it won't cost you a dime to come out and have a family time. Bring your lawn chairs. We're going to have singers come out also. So I'm looking forward to you guys participating in the Juneteenth celebration. I don't want it to be about making money. I want it to be about family time. This is why this is important to me. And I'm looking forward to young people joining me so I can go and sit down one day and knowing that y'all carrying on the torch for me.
Hey, I like that. You're talking about faith, family, and friends. I like that. And the weather is definitely indicating it's going to be a very warm day. How people need to hydrate. But we were talking about the parade, which is this Saturday. It's going to start off at the lineup is going to start off at Wasman High School and end up close to between Johnson Park and the zoo. But what time is the lineup for the parade?
The lineup is 9 o'clock. We're going to leave at 10 o'clock. You know, it's down to the hour. A lot of people are calling, asking about the parade. And at this point too, because we have such a good lineup, if you don't have any money, you come on, get in the parade. You know, put a sign on your car, say it's Juneteenth. We just have covered all our bills with the entry fees. So right now, you know, come on out. Let's take back our community. Let's stop and do something that's good for the people. We got to start showing some love. Coronavirus shut us down. So now it's time to redo the things that we used to do because we have allowed the street to take our children and we're not doing anything to take them back. So it's time to take them back. And I'm looking forward to just a great family time. I promise you, you're going to enjoy yourself. We have jumpers for the kids. Bring them an extra pair of pants or bathing suit or something, because we're going to have some water slides out there. We're going to have games. It's just going to be a nice time. And that's what I love to see happening in my community.
That's right. That's right. And I like that. And I want the people to know also, this is the 11th annual Juneteenth parade. I mean, I believe you're one of the first that I can remember actually ensured that everyone was fully aware of what was going on in our, as you say, our community. And that's right. And I definitely know you don't mind sharing the community as long as we get active and get involved and make a difference.
That's what we have to do. Because I always say, you have to love where you live and you have to live where you love. That makes the difference. So I want to see my community vibrant. Just, you know, at some point, we have to put funding in District 3, 4, and 5. District 3, 4, and 5 has no funding source. And every turn that we're trying to get funding source, we're being blocked. That needs to stop. It needs to stop. So I need people to wake up, because your tax dollars is sponsoring everything in this city. It's sponsoring everything with you.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know how hard you work in the community. As I mentioned earlier, your passion, because I know that several years ago, I took a trip with you and a group of other individuals where you all were researching, getting ideas from bigger and prosperous and proper cities in Louisiana. We took a trip way down south. I can't remember where. And
Yeah.
you all met with the leaders in that area to acquire information saying, hey, I see you all are doing better. How did it happen? You are taking notes in order to bring it back to our town. So a lot of people don't know you put in a lot of behind the scenes work in order for our community to prosper.
Yes. I think all the time I said, you know, God put you in a place at such a time as this. He knows who needs to be there at any time in any moment in time. So this is my time. You know, I I love what I do. You know, it doesn't pay, but you know what? God will bless you in a way that man cannot even phantom what's going on in your life. And you know, how can I stand? I was speaking last night at an event, and this man came up to me and he said, "You better be careful uh, speaking against this person, because he's a powerful person." I said, "So are you threatening me? I'm not understanding what you're saying." "Oh no, I'm just saying." I said, "Well, I need to write a note and put your name on, because you know about what may happen to me. So I need to put your name on this note along with his." You know, people don't want to be called out by the truth. The Bible tells us people want to say good is evil and evil is good. Something wrong with that picture.
Hmm.
Something wrong with that picture. So we got to tell the truth is all we have to stand on, you know, and until people are ready to, you know, hey, you can always say, and I hear it a lot. "Well, Miss Brown, they look at you as angry, you know, and they want to classify you as an angry Black woman." So you know what? I decided to embrace that, because guess what? As long as I'm angry, I'm just talking. If I stop talking, I'm mad. So you want to keep calling me angry, because if I stop talking, I done got mad. So a mad Black woman quit talking. And they have seen that side of me when I quit talking. Mm-hmm. Then it throws them off. "Miss Brown, why you not saying nothing?" "Wait, okay, because I'm mad now. I ain't got nothing else to say. So I got to get action, time for action." So that's what we have to do. We have to be about action.
Absolutely. And once again, I appreciate your service in the community. Looks like we've covered everything, gave some history on Juneteenth. If anyone wants to know more about it, I'm assuming that there are going to be classes or information sessions coming up.
Yes, there's gonna be so much information coming up. You're gonna get so educated about Juneteenth. You're gonna make sure that you want to be a part of it from this time on, because we got a lot of stuff going on, and it's all about bringing the children up behind us.
Saving the next generation, educating them. That's right. Well, Marie, I appreciate your time, and I'm coming out there, take a few photos, and I will see you on Saturday. But once again, I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.